Thanks for joining us, America. Samantha's with us in Seattle. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show, Samantha.
Hi, Dave. It's great to talk to you.
You too. What's up in your world?
Well, I have a question regarding my husband's student loan. It has both his and my father-in-law's name on it. And for the last 10 years or so, we've been paying it exclusively. He before we were married, and then us after. And the original agreement was that my in-laws were going to pay half. And every time my husband has approached them to help us pay, they have refused. And so
On what basis?
Now as it sits,
They don't think that was the original agreement?
Well, no. In the beginning, it was because they said they couldn't afford it. My mother-in-law stayed at home at the time, and so my husband he couldn't afford it either. This was prior to our marriage. He ended up defaulting on one of the loans, and it went up in collections. Mm-hmm. And so once we got married, we were able to get a loan to get it out of collections. We did seek their help at that time, and at that time, they were both working full-time. They're currently both working full-time. And they kind of strung us along, and months went by, and we finally just tried to take care of it ourselves. We procured a loan for about 80% of it, and then my father actually loaned us the remainder to get it out of collections. So we have since paid my dad off, but we're still sitting here, paying this entire loan ourselves. We're starting a young family, and I guess I just feel resentment for them not stepping up to the plate. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
How much money is involved here?
Right now we owe about $20,000.
Mm-hmm. And what's your household income?
About 48. I stay home with our daughter. I work a little bit from home. I'm currently not making much, but I do have opportunity to advance. It's just going to take a little while. And my husband is actually going to be moving a step forward in his career as well. So our financial situation is due to improve in the next year or two, but it's more just that was not the original agreement. And so
what does your husband say about all this?
Well, he's frustrated as well. Initially, he just kind of swept it under the rug. That's sort of what they do in their family. And now that we have a daughter, our daughter just turned 1, he is in a different frame of mind, more about protecting his family and doing what is financially best for us. And so he's very frustrated also, but he's a little bit more hesitant to say something. He's just not very good at confrontation. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question mainly is just from an outside point of view, is it something that you think is worth us pursuing, or do you think we should maybe just suck it up and pay it?
I'd like to see your husband step up and have a more healthy but firm conversation with his parents without you involved.
Okay, right.
Because I think they're going to hear the edge that I hear in your voice.
It's been about 12 years of frustration.
Yeah, and I know. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just hear the edge, and you're the mother of their grandkid.
Right.
And I don't want $10,000 to screw up this whole thing. It's not worth it. But it probably is a good exercise for your husband and his family to at least address this. Mom and Dad, are you going to do something here? If you're not, you need to just tell me. And if you're never going to do anything, then I'm just going to let this go, and I'm going to take care of it. But, I mean, we did have a deal. He needs to go say that out loud for his manhood. Mm-hmm. Because, and then if he comes back and says, look, they don't think there was a deal, or they agree there was a deal, but they're not going to do anything about it, we've got a choice. We can either be mad about it or we can drop it. I'd suggest you drop it and pay it.
Right.
But I think it's a good exercise for your husband, as you said, to stand up for his kid here, in that sense. Mm-hmm. And but I don't think it. To me, you know what I think these people are, the way you're describing them. It may be the way you're describing them, but what I heard was they're lazy, and they don't keep a lot of commitments.
Right.
Their lives are undisciplined and sloppy.
Mm-hmm. And they are not very good with their finances, and thus they pass that on to my husband.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going
there was
on.
a
I don't
lot of
think these
learning
people have, I don't think these people
experience
have a bank load of money and they're
there. No.
greedy and don't want to help you. I think they're just lazy, they're undisciplined, they're disorganized, they're impulsive,
Mhm.
they're immature, they're selfish. And, you know,
Mhm.
and I don't mean that but that's the downside of them. They probably are pretty loving and gentle people too, honestly, but they're just sloppy.
Right.
And I don't think you're going to fix that with one conversation. And so I think he's probably wasting his time on a practical basis, but I think it'll be good
Mhm.
for him and good for your marriage for him to stand up and just get clarity on it. I think what you're going to decide, both of you, is to forgive it, lay it down,
Uh-huh.
breathe in peace, and pay the bill. That's probably what's going to happen. But
Right. But just to
don't
have
let
him feel better.
$10,000 stay in your gut like it is right now for the next 10 years.
Right. Right.
That's not fair to you, Samantha.
That is very true.
You're not punishing them, you're punishing you.
Right.
And every time you
Okay.
say
Well,
something about the kid's grandparents in front of the kid, there's a sneer in your voice. You don't want that.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would, if he does or if he doesn't, confront them one last time, and for clarity purposes and for purposes of him standing with his shoulders square, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But if he doesn't do that, or if he does do that, 98% chance you get no money out of that confrontation ever. And so you do it gently, tactfully, but very firmly and with great clarity for the sake of your husband's dignity, because now they're acting like they didn't have a deal with him that they had with him. They messed over their own kid. And somebody needs to say that out loud from a justice perspective. But then once it's said out loud, I just lay it down and walk away. Breathe in, fix the deal, vow to change your family tree. You and your husband correct the things that he inherited in his character by attending Financial Peace University or something like that, and you guys get your act together, and let success be your best revenge, and move on. That's what I would do. That's how I'm just talking like an old grandpa here. Hey, thanks for the call.